Hi and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. My name is Brandy and I'm a beauty review channel. Today I am doing a full face of Believe Beauty. These are found at Dollar General. I believe they all range from $3 to about $6, $8. I don't believe there's anything over that price range. So everything you see on my face I did purchase there. There was some definite wins and there was some obvious fails. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I hope that you'll keep watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, and let's get into this full face of Believe Beauty. So as I said in my intro, I am testing the entire Believe line. I believe I have something for every category here. Before I do my eyes, I do typically do my eyes first, and I am doing a blue look today, so I definitely want to do my eyes first. I actually am going to color match my foundation and my concealer because I did buy two of each since they were so affordable. And I couldn't tell in the store because of the fluorescent lighting. It was really hard to tell, and even when I got home, it was kind of, I don't know if they both matched me or if I was just not seeing it. So I did grab two shades. I grabbed Porcelain and Ivory. So these look like this. Disregard the, there's like sticky mess all over it from the like seal. So, and it does come with a pump. These are really nice. I don't think I'm anywhere near the first person. I think these have been reviewed a lot, but I personally wanted to try them. So the first one I'm testing is Porcelain. And I am just going to take a little bit. No, not far off. That one's really close. Okay, let's see. And this one is Ivory. Putting it on a different side of my hand. This one, again, has the pump and the glass bottle. It's kind of hard to believe they have glass bottles. Like, I almost have to wonder what's in this because to have a glass bottle and pump when it's $5 is crazy. Actually, that might be a better match. Oh, I don't know. It might be a little bit more yellow. I think I really could use either one, but I think I'm going to go with Porcelain for the foundation. That's the first concealer, and that one is Fair, which foundation concealer does not look fair. The second one is Ivory. Yeah, we'll go with that one. That's what I see. Yeah, Ivory's more pink toned too, and I definitely am pink toned. So I was looking at swatching this palette earlier, and I probably like totally screwed myself when I picked this because it does have just like I think it has one matte and it's the deepest blue. Maybe this white one's a matte actually. No, that's a satin. So it has one matte, two of the exact same shade, a brown shimmer, a white shimmer, and a white matte. So I don't think it's going to be super awesome today, but we'll go with it. So I'm going to prime my eyes off camera really quick, and then I will come back on and start my eye look. Okay, I did prime my eyes with the Believe concealer and the Believe powder. I actually liked them for that. I can't say how they're going to work on my face yet, but for that, it was really good. I actually think that this is not the finest milled, so it's kind of like that middle ground where it's not a coarsely milled, but it's not like a Fenty powder or a HD powder. So it actually works really good to create just a soft base. I actually pan powders and concealers I don't like by doing my eyeshadow base. So if this doesn't work, I definitely can still get use. I do give a lot of makeup to she's my stepdaughter, but she's like my daughter, and my son's girlfriend, so I always have somewhere these can go if they don't work for me. So I'm gonna move into the eyes. For the actual like crease color, I'm not gonna do a full crease, but I am gonna do the outer corner and beginning with this deep blue. It is a very dark one, and it's the only matte in the palette, so I do want to kind of use it as an anchor or a base for the look. So I am going to start off out here, which I usually don't do. This is not one that I do with my looks very often, but because this doesn't have a lot of diversity, I want to create at least a little bit of depth and start it off with something to kind of, again, anchor it. I am getting pretty good pigment. I am stamping, I am not blending yet, so that can be why. Sometimes when you have a low pigment palette, if you stamp it, you can get good color out of it. But we'll see when I start kind of doing my windshield washer motion what it is. I would say it's not bad pigment at all. I would say it's doing pretty darn good. I'm not a huge blue eyeshadow fan, and I feel like I've done a ton of blue looks lately, so it's kind of funny. I just don't think for me, with my fair complexion, it's easy to pull off. It's not to say it can't be pull off. It takes a lot more effort and a lot more skill, and my eyes are my least favorite, so there's oftentimes I don't put the effort in. And then the skill, well, that's a whole nother conversation. Okay, I think that's probably good. I just want to kind of get this out a little bit more over here, so it's got more of the base shade. I am going to grab a brush that has nothing on it and kind of go over these edges a little bit. I always like to do that because I tend to be like a bull in the china shop with my eyeshadow. So I like to go over them and make sure there's not super harsh edges anywhere. And I find that whenever I forget to do that, you can visibly see it. So next I'm going to go into these two shades right here. So this one and this one on the skin look absolutely identical. There's like no difference in them. So I'm actually going to grab the one that is perceivably lighter in the pan, but I don't think it really is. I think it's the exact same shade. And start just putting it on my lid. I would say that these shimmers are really creamy. When I was swatching them, they were very easy to work with. They're probably some of the easiest to work with in the entire palette. Well, they are the entire palette because it's got no mattes except for one, but yeah. Next, I'm going to go into this shade right here. And this one is basically a white or silver shimmer. So it doesn't have a lot of undertone to it. So I thought it would look good with that underneath it. Would kind of bring it out more. I'm going to bring this all the way up. I want to go back in that blue. The blue is blending away a little bit now that I have put some shimmers in with it. So I just want to go back and darken out that outer little bit. I think this eyeshadow look might be a fail. You've probably already come to that conclusion, but I'm hoping to salvage it. So I'm going to attempt to do the other eye off camera, and then I will come back on and do the rest of my makeup. Okay, I did finish both eyes just with my eyeshadow. I do the rest later, and cleaned up the underneath and got all the fallout off. So next I'm going to go in with the primer. And this is the Radiantly Primed. Again, when you buy these, they actually have like a checkout alert to make sure you actually like check out. So it always ends up with the sticky stuff. If I keep these, I will go through and scrub them off with a wipe. I wanted to see if I was going to keep them first. So I am just taking like, it's not a pump or anything, so I just grab that much. And that like immediately sunk into my skin. So I'm going to put it right on my skin and see what it does. It does feel very moisturizing. It definitely is radiant. Like, it reminds me of the Becca primer that has the actual like shade to it. I can't think. Skin Perfecting, maybe it's called. Shimmering Skin Perfector, I think it's called. It is very shimmery. I would not wear this by itself. It's like putting glitter on your face. It is, I will say, it's glittery. I mean, it's a true shimmer. My face is like a huge reflection. However, it was very like nourishing. It was very moisturizing. So if the foundation blends well with it, which hopefully it's the same brand it should, but and it doesn't come through as of that shimmery, I would continue to use that because it's very moisturizing. Next, I'm going to do foundation. I'm just going to put a couple pumps on the back, or maybe just one because that was huge. This is their sponge, Believe Beauty. It actually feels really like extra spongy. Like, I don't know how to explain. It's like really bouncy. So I like using like that bottom for my foundation, and I like using this for powder and concealer and stuff. So I am just going to go in and start patting this in. I definitely think that was a good color. I haven't powdered yet, I haven't done anything like that, but it is got a really pretty like surface. I am going to try to add a little bit with one of the flat sides because my little trouble area right here is not holding the foundation very well. But I've spoke about in previous videos, this right here mid freckle area for some reason does not like foundation, and it just vanishes. It's like crazy. Well, that side it definitely did the trick. It's very pretty now. It's all sitting like really nice. So it might be worth it if you get this sponge to only use the flat side because the foundation definitely is sticking better with that side. Okay, let's add some concealer, and then if I need to blend it out more after that, I can. Before I go on the powder, I want to go in with, this is the Believe dual-ended contour stick. It does look like this. And all of my products were sealed when I got them. I have a feeling this is going to be too warm, but we'll see. Oh yeah, we're only going to do that area. We'll stop. I'm not going to do my whole face. That is very warm, and what I'll do is I'll actually do that right next to it, so maybe it will help lessen it a little bit. This is obviously way too warm for me for contour, so we'll just use it as more of a cream bronzer. And I didn't use a lot since I saw it was so warm. And it actually completely, I'm not sure it's picking up on camera, but on my side it looks like it blended away. Yep, it completely blended away. So I wouldn't waste my time on that one. Let's see, next I want to just powder lightly. I don't want to go crazy because this is a coarse powder, but I do want to put some on my face. And it's not like a heavy powder. I thought the way it did my eyes it was going to be a heavier powder, but it's not. I'm actually having to put a little bit more just to have enough to be able to use my powder products. Powder did not displace the foundation at all. That all still looks fine. It is very soft. It does almost, like when I'm doing this, float away. My under eyes do look like trash. Like, I usually color correct. They don't offer a color corrector, so I just want to point out they look like garbage. So I definitely, if I were to use that combination, I would use a color corrector. I did not use it here because I want to do a full face of Believe, so that's why. So I actually purchased two bronzers. I actually purchased one on its own that looked to be somewhat of a cooler, and then I purchased one in this pack. This pack, this bronzer, I swatched it earlier, and it came out orange on my skin, like crazy orange. And so, but it was one that had a highlighter in it. So let me see if it is. This is light to medium. They didn't have a fair option, but I just want to show these. The highlighter I think would show up on deeper skin. The blush, I doubt. I can't be proven unless somebody tries it, but I doubt it. And the bronzer I think would work for a light to medium skin tone at best. I mean, like at best. Although it did turn orange, so I would say lightish medium and medium. So I'm gonna try this other one. It does look like this, and it is just a little bit warmer. This one's called Hawaiian Gold, and this is one of the standalones, obviously. So I'm just gonna grab, this is the NYX, I've talked about this one before. This is the O2. I actually have two of these. I use one for contour and one for bronzer. So I'm gonna tap that off. I do want to show something I'm noticing. Like, you know, on the bottom of the metal tin of the pan, there's sometimes like a dot or a design, or like CoverGirl has the circles. Look at that. The dot's already popping through, and that was not there when I opened it. So this one likely is not going to go very far. Again, it has 4 grams, much like the powder, but this just doesn't seem like it would last very long. Then for blush, I again have 2 because I did pick up a single, and I think the singles were 4. This is the single. It's like a peachy. This one is more, it looks red tone, but when I swatched it, it looked more orange. I'm going to try this one first, the one from the palette, and see what it does on my skin. Ooh, kick up. Holy schnauzers. It actually is so faint, it's not even really like picking up. Like, I am using a bigger, fluffier brush on purpose because I wanted to diffuse the color, but it's very faint. Again, a ton of kick up in the pan. And look at my brush. Like, that's a lot. That one does have more pigment, definitely. So I think the moral of that story is I would stay away from the palettes, and I'd go with the singles. And I feel like pretty much what you see is what you got with both this and the bronzer that are singles. The only reason I bought the palette is they didn't have any highlighters that were on their own. And I mean, it makes sense if it works for you to get them all in one and pay. I think that was $5.50 or $6 than to pay $8 for two, or actually $12 for three, because I think the singles were $4. I am going to diffuse this. This blows away so easy. I put a little bit more on, but I'm going to diffuse it with my powder brush because the highlighter has enough color of its own. Let's do the highlighter next. On camera, I'm looking very pale and flat, but in person, I don't see that at all. Like, I've talked about this before. A lot of YouTubers actually use foundations that are 1, 2, 3, even more shades depending on their lighting setup because the lights wash you out. However, I'm not like a makeup artist or anything like that. I wear my makeup all day, so I can see how the lights can make it look pale to you, but I try to give you a real life view as well. If you would like me to post like snapshots in here so you can see it while you're watching it, what it looks like, I'd be happy to do that for you. Just let me know. But I do realize, and I'm acknowledging it looks washed out on the monitor, but in real life it actually is a really good color match. I'm actually kind of shocked. So next I'm going to go with brows. I did grab, let's see, this is blonde. So we'll see if it's, I usually use taupe, but a lot of times I can sub blonde for taupe because a lot of times they actually give blondes cooler shading. This is really, really smooth. I just want to say that really quick. I don't do a ton with my brows, but I am doing more right now for the sheer fact that I need to get them done, and I try to at least somewhat cover up all that extra hair growth. The one thing I will say is I'm going to show you, it's not a like hard tip, it's a very soft tip, so it's kind of like the e.l.f. in that way too. So when it gets dull, you'd have to use it on the edge or similar. So let's brush that one out, and I did get a brow gel as well. Before I do my brow gel, I'm actually going to spray my face. They did have a setting spray. This is the Makeup Perfecting setting spray. It does look like this. I need to test the sprayer before I spray. Oh, that's actually pretty fine. I mean, it's not the finest. It's not like Fenty or Morphe's, but it is pretty fine. It does have a scent. I can't think of what that scent is. It almost smells like a cleanser, but I think it was meant to be perfumey. So make sure there's no wet spots. I doubt there would be because that was such a fine mister, but I do always just try to make sure. So let's use the brow gel. I think all they had was clear now that I think about it. Or maybe they had like the deepest shades, but they didn't have anything else. Next, I do have an eyeliner and a mascara to go with the eyeshadow. I'm going to grab that white shade really quick, and I just want to put a really light dusting on my brow bone. Kind of broke the eye look with that one, which is so typical. I could have just left it alone. But I have eyeliner and I have mascara. So I'm just going to throw just a little bit of liner down here in my lower waterline. Okay, so not my favorite. I think you could get a great one at the drugstore that you wouldn't have to worry about that. So definitely not one I would do. Oh, back to the brow gel. I don't think I gave you an answer. I definitely think that worked really well. I actually think it's on par with like Anastasia. My brows are standing up. I do think that color is a little warmer than I prefer. Not loving that, but the formula was great. If you can find a shade that matches you, the formula is really good. So next thing I want to do, I want to curl my eyelashes. I do curl mine in multiple places. I find that tarts for some reason fit my eyes way better, but I curl them like horizontally because I have a lot of lashes. I curl them in multiple places. But then I also curl at the base, and then I also curl about halfway. They are curled. They are ready to go. I did, I believe, get Black Yep Intense Black, and this is Volumizing Believe Mascara. It's not controlling the lashes really, and that's one of the things I don't like. I have lashes that kind of are cockeyed or go different ways, and it's not doing that. It also, because I think that big puff, it's transferring to my eyeshadow much more than I normally experience. That is probably the best I'm going to be able to get this mascara to look. This one already fell. Like initially they curled and then they fell. So I did get lip liner, lipstick, and lip gloss. So I wanted to try all of them. I did get a lip liner. This is in Barely There. And it is just a pale pink. That is very smooth, very buttery. I would definitely say that is worth the money. This is the lipstick. It is the Satin Crush lipstick in Vintage Romance. It does look like this. I just got a mauve color. Those are like my home base, if you will. I will say this almost goes on like patchy. It's very smooth. So that is the lipstick, which now that I'm looking at it, I usually like pink and blue together, but I don't like these together. It's very soft. It went on easy. It did have a little bit of patchiness. Again, drugstores are so cheap. I just think that those brands you could go with and have a lot. I know L'Oreal, like the Moisture Rich or the Nourish or whatever they call those are so soft on your lips. I just think there's no reason to struggle with any lipstick or mascara or eyeliner when you can get them affordably at the drugstore. So let's try the lip gloss. This is the last product I have by them. This is in Lustrous Shine Lip Gloss, and it's in Prim and Proper. And again, I just grabbed a pale pink. Typically, I find pink and blues go very well together. In the monitor, I actually don't think it looks that bad, but in person, I'm like, ooh, I look like a girl who's playing in her mom's makeup. It's slippery, but it's not like Fenty slippery, but it's not sticky either. Yeah, I definitely think I'd use that. It's staying on my lips. Like when I rub them, I'm not seeing it go everywhere, so that's definitely something I love. Sometimes when it's too slippery, you'll see it like go up on the sides or bunch up at the top. So I think the shine definitely is there. I mean, I think it's a very shiny lip gloss. So that's my full face of Believe Beauty. As you saw, there were some wins and there were some fails. If I look at it now, I definitely think that the foundation is a win. I think the foundation worked really great. The primer, I think I would have preferred a hydrating primer. I think that it was hydrating. It definitely was, but I didn't see, I mean, it was kind of a waste to get the shimmery one because it doesn't shine through, although I'm kind of thankful it didn't because I was like 5-alarm glowing with that one and not in a good way. If we look at the powder, I thought the powder worked really well. I think it's definitely on par with the Maybelline Fit Me. Maybelline Fit Me has a bigger package, however, so probably is better for your budget. As far as the bronzer, I would not waste my time with those palettes. I would go straight for the individuals. They seem to have better quality, less patchiness, and weren't orange. That's always a bonus. But it also, even the blush, the one that was in the palette did not work very well. The one that was in the individual worked much better, had a lot more pigment, and just blended all the way a lot better. And the highlighter gave me some issues, and I can only think that maybe if I'd found an individual highlighter, I would have had better luck. If I'm at Dollar General, because that is where I buy my detergent, they have the best deals on detergents, I definitely will pick up a highlighter and just kind of test it out. If we look at the eyeshadow, I felt like blue eyeshadows are hard to work with. Both like skill-wise, they can be difficult to maneuver and manipulate, but also just to create. And I thought the dark blue actually did really good. I don't think this is horrible. I think that if I worked with the palette more, I probably could come up with an even more beautiful look. I think that it's something that the first time you use a formula that you're not familiar with, you can't always have a perfect result. So I'm okay with that. I think that I would stick with colors you know and love, not unless you just want a cheap palette to have a dramatic look, something like that I can understand. But if you stick with ones that you are used to, then you'll be able to see, you know, exactly right away as far as the quality. But also, I didn't find that the one I had only had two mattes. It had a white and it had a blue. The shimmer that is light blue but actually looks very white, that one and the grayish blue one both worked very well as well. So I think it's definitely just learning how to manipulate and figure it out. One thing I will say, I didn't feel this palette, I don't remember the other ones. This one didn't have a good color combination to it that you could really do different looks. I felt like you were stuck with either a solid shade or the same 3 shades together. So I definitely think that I would kind of examine those palettes as you decide. And then if we look at the liner was a fail, the mascara was a fail, the brow gel and brow pencil both worked very well. I'm honestly really happy with my brows today. They're slightly warmer than I would prefer, but shading I don't look at as much as performance. So if I can find a taupe, I would actually be really excited. As I said, I did buy the blonde because I didn't have a taupe. And then if we go to the lipstick, lip liner, and lip gloss. The lip gloss and the lip liner I definitely believe are an absolute win. The lipstick, with all the pricing in drugstore, I just think there's no point in wasting your time. And I think, oh, and the setting spray worked fantastic. I had a very fine mister. So I think that is everything. If you like full face of one brand, if you like unboxings or mystery boxes, I hope you will like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I hope I see you again soon.